I'm Steve Adubato. Welcome to the Tisch WNET studio here in the heart of Lincoln Center. It is our pleasure to welcome Dan Abrams, founder of Abrams Media and also Chief Legal Affairs Anchor at ABC News. Good to see you, Dan.
Good to be with you, Steve.
You are doing all kinds of interesting things. Let everybody know that even though the ABC studio is across the street, what kind of work you do there?
So I'm the big legal guy there. I do the legal stories for ABC News, do Good Morning America most mornings, talking about whatever the legal story is of the day. It could be anything from a sort of tabloid headline type of a criminal story to the most serious cases involving the Supreme Court, et cetera. So it's a wide range of stories that I'm doing. And then doing the rest of the ABC shows, 2020, Nightline, World News, et cetera. So it's interesting and fun.
But that's not enough for you.
Nope.
No, it's not.
No.
And I've known you for a long time, and your entrepreneurial spirit, let's say, beyond your broadcast skills, clearly gets the best of you. Let's talk about some of the other activities. The initiative that you've been involved in for over a year, talk about it. It's 24/7 court.
Right. So it's called Law News with a Z is the name of the website. And in the last couple of months, we have expanded it from a website to effectively a 24/7 live video network, meaning we're covering trials, and we have in-studio analysts, and we have anchors, and we've got a studio, and we're live most of the time between 40 and 60 hours a week. And then we'll replay some of the coverage from earlier in the day. But I've just been kind of amazed that no one else was doing this. I mean, there's a real appetite out there.
Market.
Yeah.
Real market.
For people who love to watch trials. And look, there's both the sort of, I don't want to call it the entertainment aspect of it, but it is entertaining at times to watch trials. But there's also the fact that I think it's important. I mean, even the more mundane criminal trials out there, right? It's still the people of the state of New Jersey or New York or California versus the defendant. We have the right to see what prosecutors are doing in the name of the taxpayers of the state of blank.
Even a responsibility.
Yeah, and so, look, courtrooms were built with galleries back in the old days. People used to come. That was what they would do. Many of them would do during the day. They would go and watch trials. And I guess I've been amazed that since Court TV, where I worked when it started, doesn't exist anymore, that there hasn't been a new Court TV, which is where I moved in, and it's been, the growth has been explosive.
And you saw it there. By the way, real quick, for those who don't know your background growing up as a kid, the legal world was around you.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yes.
Your dad?
Dad's Floyd Abrams, who's the Floyd Abrams. I don't think it's probably another guy named Floyd Abrams.
No.
Is my, no.
Also nobody who's done what he's done.
I know,
Go ahead.
No, he's a well-known First Amendment lawyer. His new book, Soul of the First Amendment, is coming out.
I stepped on that. What's the name of the book again?
The Soul of the First Amendment.
Plugging like that is okay on
right,
PBS.
Right.
Go ahead.
It's not for my book, so
That's right.
Exactly,
That's good.
right.
Okay.
So I'm not plugging my own book. Hey, you better not plug your own book. Don't worry. Dad's book is called The Soul.
That's quite all right.
Yeah.
And he was preeminent.
He's argued more First Amendment cases in front of the Supreme Court than anyone. And what I most respect about what my dad has done as an attorney is that he takes a principled First Amendment view that can benefit either political side. And that's angered. Look, my dad's has long been viewed as a liberal constitutional lawyer. And yet now he represents Mitch McConnell for free in this for free in the Citizens United case. And all of these, all of his liberal friends start accusing him of heresy. And his position is you guys are looking at the policy result, not the constitutional principle behind it. And for him, it's the constitutional principle.
First and always.
And I think that that's something we don't see enough of these days, is people who are willing to take a principled position no matter which side it helps or hurts.
Yeah, well said. By the way, can we talk cable for a second?
Yeah, I love talking cable.
You know media, you understand it, you worked in it. You actually, full disclosure, hired me way back in the day, 2007. You ran MSNBC 2007, 2008. and you understand media, but back then, 10 years ago, cable was what it was. 10 years later, what is it, cable news?
It's not that much different, I don't think, from what it was. Meaning that back in the day, cable was about, I think we were just realizing what cable was going to become. And that is that the shows that were going to succeed the most on cable were going to be opinion shows. Fox recognized that very early on. It took CNN and MSNBC a little bit longer to recognize that. But it was in the mid-2000s, I think, that everyone else kind of came around. CNN probably was the last to the game.
To the opinion game.
Yeah, to recognizing that, that can really, it doesn't mean all you do is opinion, but it means you have to have that in your mix if you want to build up ratings. And why is that? People like to sort of mock opinion and say, oh, it's not journalism and this. Look, newspapers have had op-ed pages and editorial pages forever. And the notion that cable news channels shouldn't also have that, in fact, shouldn't have more of that, I think is a mistake, and I think it's an unfair criticism.
But the downside of that, devil's advocate, Dan, is that those who are looking for that, who have certain political opinions, clearly, you know where I'm going here, go to where they want to go to reinforce what they already believe, and stay away from stations that may have a different perspective with different opinions, and therefore, all it does is reinforce what they already believe, as opposed to, God forbid, don't confuse me with any other facts. Any concerns about that?
Well, sure, but those people who have these hard, these sort of hardwired sense of what's right and wrong aren't going to be going to kind of middle-of-the-road stations anyway. I mean, look, the bottom line is life is on demand. Media is on demand these days.
True.
And so to suggest that, if my MSNBC would just offer a more balanced view of the world, my goodness, this could help us all as a society. It's a bunch of malarkey. The bottom line is conservatives are going to go to Fox, liberals are going to divide between CNN and MSNBC, and those in the middle are going to probably pop between the various networks.
But the really smart people are going to come to PBS.
And the really smart people are going to be watching One-on-One with Steve Adubato.
No, the entire, how dare I plug?
Sorry, the entire programming schedule.
Here at PBS.
I didn't mean to just be suggesting.
Just listen, come on,
Yeah, no, I'm on your show. It's,
So, bigger picture. The other aspect of this is the digital side, because go back to the on-demand thing. You understand that piece of it as well. Do you see a period of time down the road where people literally watching old school on their televisions is somehow coming to an end anytime soon because people are looking for it in all other forms?
No, I think they'll still be watching on screens. A lot of it's going to be in mobile, but I think that people will still watch things on screens at home, but it won't be delivered in the way that we currently get it, meaning as much through broadcast networks, cable networks. It's going to be more on-demand choices, and that's going to include a whole new range of programming. One of my websites, Mediaite, covers...
Big, huge. By the way, tell everyone again, can we put up the site? Because I know I get a lot of great stuff from there as well.
Yeah, Mediaite, Mediaite. And, look, the next phase of Mediaite will eventually be a video play, the way Law News has done that. And, so will, I think, a lot of the other big web properties out there will create their own content. They'll have their own networks. And so suddenly people who might have gone to a cable network like CNN or MSNBC, they might say, oh, I want to go to a BuzzFeed's network. Instead, younger people in particular don't watch cable news. I mean, when you look at the average age of people who are watching cable news,
older and older.
It is old.
So younger people may go to BuzzFeed or Mediaite as their primary source.
Well, and they'll look for clips. They'll see the clips from cable news, but the notion that young people are, I love it when people, when cable news executives talk about, oh, we really got to try and get a younger audience. Yeah, we want to get them to be 60.
That's how
as opposed to 70. I mean, younger for cable right now is pursuing 50 to 60. You want to try to get 30 to 40? It's not going to happen.
All right, real quick, before big subject, give me 2 minutes on this. The media in the age of Trump or Trump in the age of media, take it whichever way you want.
Look, Donald Trump has declared war on the media, and his administration has done that. Now, I don't know exactly how that's going to manifest itself. So far, we've seen it in words. We've seen articles, stories they don't like being characterized as fake news or sort of broad insults. The New York Times, the failing New York Times, even though the New York Times is making more money now than they've made in a long time, thanks to Trump, et cetera. So, up to this point, it feels like a lot of talk.
Even if some are banned with their questions in a presser with...
I got to tell you, the White House, I know that like those of us in the media bubble get obsessed with the White House press conference.
Overblown?
I just think the big picture, of my concerns about this administration, who gets to ask questions at the White House daily press briefing is not anywhere near the top of them. My concerns are more big picture, which is, are they going to try to go after journalists' sources in a lot of cases in a much more aggressive way than we've seen in the past? I think it's bad for the media that so many people now don't trust, obviously, trust them. Look, they don't trust the media. And that's not Donald Trump's fault, by the way. I mean, he hasn't helped. But
we haven't helped ourselves.
We haven't helped ourselves. And look, and this goes back to your point earlier about the fractured media, because you got one side saying the other side's all full of it. You got the other side saying they're full of it. And then people who are watching each one are saying, yeah, throwing up their arms and saying, I don't know what to believe.
And, of course, you know where to go to find the real news.
One-on-one with Steve Adubato?
No, just PBS.
Oh, all right, yeah.
By the way, check Dan Abrams, founder of Abrams Media, chief legal anchor over at ABC News. Also, Law News, right?
Yeah, with a Z.
With a Z. And Mediaite, great resource. Dan, I can't thank you enough. Appreciate
Good to be
you
with you,
coming in.
Steve.
Good stuff. Stay right there. We'll be right back, one-on-one from here in Lincoln Center.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Rowan University, Josh S. Weston, Virtua, Partners for Health Foundation, Prudential Financial's Global Communications Department, TD Bank, and by Verizon. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.